Well, as you can see, we're getting some glowy bits on these rocks now, and the substance of the rock has changed a little bit as well. I was finding it to be a little bit monotonous to have only these pillars, like a series of plinths in a sense, and design-wise decided to make this flow a little bit more. I'm still there'll be still some small adaptations in here. Might cut across here with a line and then make the corner darker or something, because I still have this divot here and this divot here directly below. I might change the direction of the divot a little bit and have it curve off to the left to help to eliminate that. Anyway, not an issue. Again, I don't worry about small things until I have to. But right now, we're going to put some water in. This is ultramarine blue and yellow ochre, and that's all. Well, okay, a bit of white. Always a bit of white, eh? Let me dry off my brush a little bit here. It's not drying it off really, it's just kind of starving it a little bit. Now off to the left, I do not want strong lines. I'm not afraid to bring this right up against this rock because I'm not going to have highlighting directly adjacent to this rock. It's going to be down a little bit. Anyway, why am I explaining this? I should just be quiet and paint. Maybe we'll step it down a little bit on the left. Step the light down a little bit on the left. Not a very loose painting. It's okay, they don't always have to be. When I use a knife, they tend to be looser. Okay, and even then they're not terribly loose for a knife painting. Okay, we'll go down even a little bit more here. And as you can see, I've painted these rocks in as well. They may catch slight bits of cold light here and there, but for the time being, they are what they are. A little more ultramarine blue and yellow ochre, but not more white. Same colors, just added a little bit of white to it. Might even be too much. I don't think so though. If I'm being looser in an area, I'll always hold my brush like this. You know, typically. Maybe a bit like this in certain places. Gotta have the pinky up sometime. And sometimes I like holding it more like a pen. Not here. You know, unless I'm really poking into a small spot. But sort of mid shaft, I guess you'd say. Okay. Sort of sky colors, but not really, you know. Sky I used ultramarine. Sky I added a little bit of raw umber into. I'm not doing that here. These are just blues, going a little bit green in places. And I'm going to add a touch of burnt sienna in here as I get closer to the bottom. Burnt sienna still leans towards the greens, but it's a sort of a dirty green. A little bit muddy. Really doesn't concern me too much. I don't mind a few spots of color that appear to be not crystal clear, you know. I don't mind if they're a little bit muddy in places. Because that helps the actual high chroma areas to pop a little bit more. You know, it's always about that juxtaposition. Alright, we're just going to keep going darker as we get to the bottom. I was very tempted to lay in a boulder in the foreground somewhere. I don't think it would be any huge benefit for me to do that, so I've decided to leave it as is. to be too cheap on the paint here. Now I know that we have this coming down, the water's sort of gently going down with its light versus dark design. This I think will be enough to oppose it. Don't forget, these rocks, they're painted in, but they're not completely painted at all. We're going to have a lot more, we're going to have higher values and higher chromas in certain areas in through here. And as I said before as well, I'm probably going to put more light in the sky. So that'll bring up our focus, you know, to this sort of an area that'll sort of run across here, you know. You know, this could be our focal point ish. It's very close to dead center. Not worried about it because we can pull it this way or this way, depending on how we treat our rocks on our sky. Just sitting here breaking the rules. I don't mind breaking the. I love breaking the rules actually. You will make leaps and bounds in your progress of skill if you're willing to do the dangerous thing and yeah, break the rules. If you can still pull a successful painting out of the fire, you know, that's what it comes down to, of course. That's the hard part. You follow every rule that's out there for design and what have you, and yeah, you know, if you can execute it, the painting itself well, you'll end up with a good painting. But it'll be good and safe. It won't be good and sort of, it won't be that interesting, in my view. I don't want this to be so dark. Not right there. So yeah, 3 colors. Well, 2 colors and white. Haven't even put any cobalt blue in here. I'm just kind of wandering around with these colors right now. Using all these soft lines, but still trying to come up with a strong painting. What makes a strong painting isn't always just bold, lively strokes. You know, it can be the drama between hard and high and low values. It can be just the design of the painting as a whole. they can make it strong. You can have a very strong design. That makes things interesting. So without any really high chroma colors or bright happy colors on this one, I'm still hoping that the thing as a whole will be strong once it's done. I believe it will be. I have some confidence in that. Adding a little bit of burnt sienna as we get to the bottom. So I guess I'm actually should be saying not 2 colors in white, but 3 colors in white. Okay, I'm going to have a little stand up and a little back up. Alright, I immediately see that this is too light down here. So rather than just going back into it and mucking about, I'm going to lay some magic paint remover. It'll remove some of the oil and some of the pigment. And now I can go in immediately and do a bit of correction. Lower my value. You know, I guess I need paint on my palette though. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Mr. Ultramarine Blue. Put another dollop on there. I think that's okay for the moment. Yeah. Let's put a bit of paint on here. That's pretty dark. Lighten it up just a little bit. Okay. And the rest will be some highlights to help further organize the water. Now something that just keeps nagging me is I got it in my head when I came down to the studio today that I wanted to cut this corner off. And I think I'm just going to do that right now because otherwise it continues to be a distraction as I'm working on other areas in the painting. Okay, a little bit of. The Lizard Crimson, a little bit of Ultramarine Blue, a little bit of Raw Umber, hint of white. I think that should be pretty close. That little thing is floating in there now. That's no good, is it? Let's reestablish the fact that it's anchored. Okay, I think I'll do something a little more interesting in this little area, but I'm really not that worried about it. About a shot of raw umber here. Let's revisit the top of that rock. Boy. Okay, I'm getting a little bit silly with my details. I see here. I've been using my my wrist as a lob stick, or my hand as a lob stick so much lately. I've just worn right through down to the bone. Actually, I had a brief but quite intimate relationship with a wood stove the other day, and so that's a little kind of weird. Biggest minor burn I've had anyway, except for sunburns. But as they say, you're not making progress if you don't feel the burn. So I must be making progress. Okay, let's square it off. Let's have a peek. You're looking at the water, you know, minus, it's more or less painted in. It's going to take some adjustments yet, and there are certainly going to be some highlights on there. That water is going to catch some light, especially closer to the top of the painting. Just little bits of glowy stuff there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk to you soon.